Good evening and welcome to Business PNG, your weekly look at business news and updates. In Papua New Guinea's small economy, trade and investment flows play a determining role in both growth and macroeconomic stability. Construction of the PNG LNG project has helped to raise the country's profile in recent years, with investment inflows of more than $5.7 billion between 2009 and 2013. The country has become even more attractive to foreign investors. In Papua New Guinea's small economy, trade and investment flows play a determining role in both growth and macroeconomic stability. The economy is gradually rebalancing its traditional dependence on its southern neighbor Australia for both trade and investment, leveraging on Asia's continued appetite for its natural resources. While lower international commodity prices are impacting the pipeline of projects in the traditionally dominant mining sector, PNG's emergence as a major liquefied natural gas exporter in 2014 has attracted global attention, with a second landmark LNG project moving towards a final investment decision in 2016. Meanwhile, the authorities are pursuing a more active strategy to liberalize trade and investment flows in non-mineral sectors, such as fisheries and agriculture, with partners further afield, including the European Union. Improving the business climate is high on the agenda, just as the government seeks to strike the right balance between attracting foreign funds and supporting growth in its domestic private sector. Bolstered by investment in its abundant natural resources, growth in the stock of foreign equity holdings has outpaced and indeed driven broader economic growth in the past decade. While GDP rose 138.6% to 32.67 billion kina between 2004 and 2012, the stock of foreign direct investment grew 200% to 9.79 billion kina, or 30% of GDP in the same period. Foreign companies have found this growth exponentially attractive and have begun investing in the country. Southern neighbour Australia stands out as the single largest investor in Papua New Guinea, with Australia's Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade reporting a total investment of $17.86 billion in the country in 2013. A significant portion of this is focused in hydrocarbons and mining, with Australian firms including Santos and Oil Search, but global multinationals have also channeled their investments through their Australian subsidiaries, including Coca-Cola Amatil and Nestle Australia. General Electric is another example of a global conglomerate that can call Papua New Guinea home after recently setting up a country office here managed by country manager Peter Loco.
We have about 8 businesses globally. We have a power and water business, that's one unit. We have the oil and gas business. We have the healthcare business. We have our aviation business. We have energy business. We have transport business. We have an appliance business that's to do with the lights and fridge. And we also have a business which, is a capital business, money business. In PNG, we plan to concentrate on 3 to start off with. Power and water is a key one. Healthcare is another one. And oil and gas, because as you know, the LNG and all that. So our plan is to push really hard to bring these businesses on board in Papua New Guinea. And we've already had some successes with some of those products and services in the country. And we know we can do better and do more in the country.
GE is an American multinational conglomerate corporation with offices around the world, and the opening of an office in the country, instead of merely operating from Australia, represents a significant boost in the country's image.
We've been actually in the country more than 1952. We were the first to set up provide some equipment for the PNG forest product before the Second World War. So we've been here for over 70 years. Why set up? I think we didn't want to be remote control from another country. We felt that it's better to have a presence in PNG on the ground. So it makes it easier for the government and the business in PNG to do business with GE, and for GE to do business with the country. So that's the whole idea, why we've decided to come and set up office in the country.
On a more regional scale, through agreements by intergovernmental organizations such as the Melanesian Spearhead Group, companies from member countries have also entered the country. PNG maintains duty-free trade arrangements with Fiji, Vanuatu, and the Solomon Islands. Business PNG spoke to Chief Executive Officer for Fijian Holdings Limited, Nuzab Farid, about the company's interest in Papua New Guinea and their investments in the country, including MTV's parent company, Media New Guinea Limited.
Fijian Holdings is a 30-year-old company, far back in 1984. At that time, the Great Council of Chiefs made a decision that the indigenous Fijians should have a company on their own, same in line with a company called PNG in Malaysia, which is meant for Bumiputras of Malaysia. Based on the same principle, we started this company in 1984 with just 2 million shareholding. Thereafter, we got to 20 million new shareholders. The 22 million share, the price, the capital we injected at that time, after 30 years, has gone up to 200 million. So it's a success story for the indigenous Fijian. If you want to see how successful the indigenous Fijians are, Fijian Holdings is a flagship.
Alongside efforts to carve out export processing zones, the government is implementing more extensive reforms and streamlining investment procedures. Highly dependent on trade and investment for growth, Papua New Guinea is exposed to movements in global commodity prices. While the pipeline of potential mining and hydrocarbons projects is significant, the authorities are using more assertive policies both to develop the non-mineral sectors and to support the growth of the fledgling domestic private sector. After the break, we visit the Melanesian Spearhead Group's recent investment roadshow and trade fair. Movements in the country's trade patterns mirror the growing diversity in the sources of inward investment. PNG is the largest exporter among Pacific Island states. The agreement between the Melanesian countries through the Melanesian Spearhead Group has facilitated this ease of access and ease of doing business between the member countries. Recently, Port Moresby played host to the MSG members by staging talks between the countries as well as hosting an investment roadshow and trade fair. Trade ministers and their delegations attended the second Melanesian Spearhead Group Investment Seminar recently. According to the chairman of the MSG, Victor Tutungoro, the convening of the seminar was to firm up the roadmap for negotiations for the third MSG trade agreement. The presentations were done to attract prospects for a new investment chapter that will help facilitate trade between MSG countries. Speaking in French, chairman of the MSG and spokesperson for New Caledonia's Front de Libération Nationale Kanak et Socialiste Party, Victor Tutungoro, reaffirmed that MSG countries have many natural resources that can develop their economies, but they must be protected. He said there are challenges, a growing demand for national resources and pressure on customary land for economic development.
Papouasie est un pays continent qui est en train de se construire et qui a besoin de mobiliser des compétences dans tous les secteurs de son économie, agriculture, mines, tourisme, etc., etc. La Nouvelle-Calédonie a des compétences qu'il convient d'organiser, de mobiliser pour venir aussi apporter sa contribution au développement de la Papouasie, comme le Premier ministre l'a demandé.
So PNG is a continent to us. But PNG is in need of developing all the economic sectors, agriculture, mining, manufacturing. And New Caledonia has a set of knowledge and expertise that could benefit to PNG. So New Caledonia's ambition would be to contribute to PNG's development in providing this expertise.
To accompany the seminar, the second MSG Investment Roadshow and Trade Fair were also held recently with displays of products and services from each of the member countries. There to observe were trade ministers from Fiji, the Solomon Islands and Vanuatu, as well as New Caledonia's FLNKS party. Throughout the week, the topic of free trade was high on the agenda.
By the year 2017, all member countries now must agree to have MSG as what you call a free trade area, meaning none of our goods should be charged any tariff among ourselves. This is PNG's proposal.
The trade ministers signed the MSG Port Moresby Declaration on securing future MSG prosperity through trade and economic integration. A top point on the agreement was the MSG countries' declaration to renew their commitment on achieving a free trade area by 2017. Minister for Trade, Commerce and Industry, Richard Maru, said PNG is committed to see a shared prosperity in the region.
We've also said if you want to do business with each other, let's remove all barriers, both tariff and non-tariff. Let's sign double tax treaties with each other. For example, PNG companies to go and invest in the Solomons, they should pay their taxes back to Papua New Guinea and not be taxed over there and also taxed over here. So these are some of the things we've done to try and get the MSG member countries to seriously reconsider our future.
The formal establishment of the MSG was made in 1988 through the signing of the agreed principles of cooperation among independent states of Melanesia in Port Vila, Vanuatu. The founding members of the MSG included Vanuatu, Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands and Kanaki. Fiji joined the MSG in the mid-1990s. There is now a visa-free arrangement for citizens of the MSG member countries. Under this arrangement, Melanesians are able to travel within MSG member countries with relative ease.
The travel card is like the APEC card, where we can use to go through and access their country or go to their country without need for a visa. It's nothing to do with employment, it's to do with travel. So Papua New Guinea should be able to go to Solomons or Fiji or Vanuatu by just using a card. Yeah, so it makes it very easy to travel and do business among ourselves. That is our proposal, and it has been adopted, and it's really up to our leaders, our Prime Minister and other Prime Ministers to agree to that so we can implement that. And we want a cut by the end of next year. That's one of the key outcomes of our meeting in Papua New Guinea.
Business PNG spoke to representatives from different countries who showcased their products and services at the event.
Bronze Cover expedition was established 1 year ago. We have the mission at the moment that we're trying to establish our relationship with the farming agents in the islands, and we are actually promoting the cover varieties in Vanuatu, the noble cover varieties in Vanuatu that are relevant to human consumption.
We're speaking with the Managing Director for Salt Tuna, Adrian Wickham. Mr. Wickham, thank you so much for joining us on Business PNG. First of all, can you explain to our viewers about Salt Tuna and what it's all about?
Yes, really glad to do so. Salt Tuna is a joint venture company, 51% foreign owned by Trimarine International and 49% by Solomon Islanders, mainly through the National Provident Fund, where there's a 32% shareholding, and the balance split evenly between the Western Province and the Investment Corporation of the Solomon Islands.
Look at this oil. This oil, if you look good, look color him made out of copra. But copra, this one, him a little bit stale and him a little bit old copra. So color blame, me call him real crude oil now, from copra, normal copra oil. This copra, him come from quality copra. So oil blame him turn out a little bit better. So me call him this one him standard one. Then this one here, me call him premium one because him come from better oil more, better copra more, so I'm standard. So this fella oil am very good for cooking, but kalana no more there, but am natural cooking oil also from copra. This fella oil, am virgin oil, pure virgin oil, no infringement inside. Am straight come from coconut virgin oil. This one from coconut, no copra. All this from copra. So 1, 2, 3 from copra make 4 copra. So this is the normal copra oil, not this one. But these are a little bit upgraded on standard of copra to make copra oil.
Agri-industry, basically, obviously, as the name states, is an agricultural-based industry. Predominantly used to be sugar, when it was just Ramu sugar. Since it's been taken over by New Britain Palm Oil, it's now part of New Britain Palm Oil. It's diversified into oil palm and beef. So you have sugar, you have Ramu beef, and you have oil palm that comes on. And obviously, we are now diversifying also into rum, and that's basically to utilize all the products, or all the fullness of the sugar cane.
The National Airports Corporation is now part of the wider discussion in the global aviation industry. Acting Chief Executive Officer Joseph Tupiri represented Papua New Guinea and the Pacific as a member of the Airport Council International World Economic Committee in a meeting at Tel Aviv, Israel. The meeting opens business opportunities for Papua New Guinea in the next 3 years.
It is a good opportunity for us. The world is getting smaller. We can't just be tucked away in this side of the world. We need to, when we have the opportunity and when people at that level recognize that we can add value to the discussions that happen at that level, we can add our perspective, in terms of the challenges we face, and the opportunities we have. And so for us, it's for me personally, it's a honor and a privilege to represent not only PNG but the Pacific on this Asia World Economics Committee, and that's for 3 years. This year, 2015 and 2016. So for me, it's a privilege, and I will want to bring value for what it is worth to help to build our airports infrastructure in Papua New Guinea, to set the strategic direction for NAC.
Airports in PNG and the Pacific region will gain much through capacity development through the Airport Council international programs. Drawing from global connections, it will contribute meaningfully on matters of airport economic that's affecting the world's airports.
As a member of the World Economics Committee, I am also responsible for making sure that the Pacific Islands airports also are properly represented, which NAC now has a strategy now to work with our neighboring countries within the Pacific to discuss ideas such as an association for the airports within the Pacific and begin to set up regional training facilities for the airports within the Pacific here in Port Moresby and in PNG in association with organizations like Singapore Aviation Academy, which we have already had discussions with, and are about to sign an MOU, and we want to also bring on Airports Council International through my membership to the World Economics Committee as well, and then have access to all the resources to provide training for the Pacific Island countries and the airports here in Port Moresby and PNG. So that's really, we are doing our bit, to say the least. NAC is doing our bit to work towards the government's drive to make sure that we are leading in the Pacific. So
the meeting is an avenue to promote the economic interest of airports and the communities they serve through the sharing of experience and best practice and the development of common policies and programs. Issues and challenges are the same, but what Papua New Guinea needs to do is to develop all the airports throughout the country.
We can't, in terms of the size and scope, we can't compete with big airports, but we can improve our efficiency, the economics, the functionality, and be as good as any other within our class in terms of dictated by passenger numbers, the size of the industry, the size of the players, and at the same time have capacity for growth, to have a strategy for growth moving forward, develop new routes. As we improve our safety, security, service levels, convenience for processing, I strongly believe that we can attract more airlines as transit through Port Moresby and our regional airports, and the government is heavily investing. The government is heavily investing in infrastructure throughout the country, and airports are one of the priority infrastructure areas as well. So for the challenge for NAC, myself and our team is we want to make sure that the money that is invested in airport infrastructure is optimized. So because we have to make decisions on the run, we have to strategize quickly. We have to make decisions that is in the best interest of the country and the organization, and to improve our infrastructure and build new infrastructure, we need to have access to the best.
The National Airports Corporation will be focused in capacity building opportunities that will be achieved through training as the strategy and way forward. Risk opportunities like safety, security and maintenance must also be managed in airports, as Tupiri explains.
The ownership, investment structures, charging principles on landing charges and security charges, and all the other charges we charge to airline users and operators, and then the kind of mix of revenue that we have opportunities to generate within commercial development and the airport city concepts globally. So those are really the focus areas of this committee. But in the midst of that, more apparent issues of safety, security, issues that are risks or opportunities that need to be managed from an airport economics perspective is discussed at this level as well. So we look at global trends in terms of risks and how that will affect traffic forecasts, then affect the bottom line of the airports globally.
The global aviation industry has 4 major international associations and organizations. ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization for regulators that PNG CASA is a member to. IATA, International Air Transport Association for airlines and air travel service providers like the National Flag Carrier and Ugini. ACI, Airport Council International, Global Airports Association that currently has over 800 members with 4 regional offices. CANSO, Air Traffic Control Organizations that PNG Air Services Limited is a member to.
One of the things that we want to get right at NAC is going from investing so much in knowledge, all right, knowing and understanding the concepts, which is important. But we do also want to, at the same time, make sure that we enhance and improve the understanding of the issues we have and actually resolve them. So the way we're structuring the program, and which successfully just delivered one with assistance from Airport Council International, I might add, at a very, very reduced cost to taxpayers, which is about 60% less than the next consultant, was